If you are over 60, there is a 1 in 3 that a ticking time bomb is silently accumulating inside your body. It's not your heart, it's not your kidneys, it's an organ that rarely complains until it's on the verge of collapse. Your liver. Scientists and doctors are calling it the silent killer of the 21st century. Why? Because it operates in the shadows. It has zero obvious symptoms until it has progressed to a dangerous, often irreversible stage. We are talking about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. And if you're thinking, oh, that's for alcoholics, think again. This is the fatty liver disease you get without touching a drop of alcohol. It is a modern epidemic driven entirely by our modern diet, and it has a bullseye aimed directly at Americans over 60. This isn't just a little fat on your liver. This is the gateway, the first step on a devastating path that leads to systemic inflammation, metabolic chaos, scarring of the liver known as cirrhosis, and ultimately liver failure or liver cancer. But here is the most critical piece of information you will hear today. Unlike so many other chronic diseases, fatty liver is not a life sentence. In fact, it is one of the most reversible conditions in the human body if you have the right blueprint. This video is not just information. This is that blueprint. This is your 30-day reversal plan. We are going to give you the evidence-based strategies, the specific foods, and the exact lifestyle triggers that are proven to halt and, in many cases, completely reverse the accumulation of fat in your liver. These are strategies designed specifically for the unique metabolic state of a body over 60. What you're about to learn isn't another fad diet. It is a precise, surgical strike against the root cause of this silent killer.
So, why does this disease suddenly accelerate right when we enter our 60s and 70s? Why does the liver, which has been so resilient our entire lives, suddenly become a storage depot for toxic fat? The answer lies in a crucial metabolic shift. As we age, our bodies undergo a profound change in how they process energy. The most significant change is a dramatic rise in something called insulin resistance. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks your muscle cells to allow glucose, or sugar, in for energy. After 60, for many of us, that lock becomes rusty. The key doesn't turn as easily. Your muscles, which are the primary consumers of glucose, start to resist insulin's signal. Your pancreas, sensing this resistance, does the only thing it knows how to do. It pumps out more insulin. You end up in a state of high blood glucose and high insulin, a state of metabolic chaos. But what happens to all that excess sugar in your bloodstream that your muscles are refusing to take in? It has to go somewhere. And this is where the liver, your body's dutiful processing plant, steps in to save the day, and in doing so, condemns itself. The liver converts this excess blood sugar into a type of fat called triglycerides. But there's one ingredient in our modern diet that bypasses this entire system and goes on a direct, high-speed train to fat production inside your liver. We are talking about fructose. Specifically, high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS. Unlike glucose, which can be used by every cell in your body, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively by the liver. When you drink a soda, a sweetened juice, or eat a processed snack, that fructose floods your liver. Your liver has no choice but to convert it directly into fat. This process is called de novo lipogenesis, which literally means making new fat. This isn't fat from the food you eat. This is fat your liver is forced to manufacture from sugar. This relentless flood of fructose, combined with underlying insulin resistance, creates the perfect storm. Your liver begins to accumulate fat cells, becoming swollen, inflamed, and sluggish. And the most sinister part, you feel almost nothing. The symptoms of early-stage fatty liver are subtle. They are the very things most people over 60 just accept as part of getting older. Are you experiencing a persistent, nagging fatigue that coffee just doesn't fix? That is a sign of a sluggish liver. Do you have brain fog, a difficulty concentrating or finding the right word? Your liver plays a critical role in brain health, and when it's inflamed, your brain feels it. Do you feel a dull, vague ache in the upper right side of your abdomen, right under your rib cage? That is your liver swollen and crying out for help. These are not just signs of aging. These are the warning whispers of the silent killer.
Before we dive into the 30-day reversal plan, if you are finding this critical information valuable and you are serious about taking back control of your health after 60, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We release evidence-based health guides just like this every single week, and we don't want you to miss the next breakthrough.
The good news is we can reverse this. Your liver has a superpower, regeneration. It is the only organ that can regrow itself, and if we give it what it needs, it can also cleanse itself. This is your 30-day blueprint. We've broken it down week by week. Week 1, the Great Elimination, days 1 through 7. Before we can rebuild, we must stop fueling the fire. For the first 7 days, our only goal is to shut down the non-stop delivery of fat-producing sugars to your liver. This is the most critical step. You cannot outrun this. You cannot medicate this. You must stop the influx. Your mission for week 1 is twofold. First, eliminate all sources of liquid fructose. This is non-negotiable. This means sodas, diet sodas, which can still spike insulin, fruit juices, yes, even 100% juice, sweetened teas, sports drinks, and energy drinks. These are liquid sugar delivered to your liver at a speed it cannot handle. Replace them with water, sparkling water, black coffee, or herbal tea. Second, eliminate all refined carbohydrates. We're talking about white bread, white rice, pastries, cookies, breakfast cereals, and pasta. These foods break down into glucose so rapidly that they overwhelm your insulin-resistant system and send a tidal wave of sugar straight to your liver for fat conversion. This first week might be challenging. You may feel tired or irritable as your body adjusts. This is a sign that your body is finally switching out of its toxic sugar-burning mode. Stay the course. By day 7, you are no longer actively creating new liver fat. You have stopped the assembly line. Week 2, the liver healing foods, days 8 through 14. Now that we've stopped the assault, we introduce the healing. In week 2, we aggressively add in the liver superfoods, specific nutrients and compounds proven to move fat out of the liver and reduce inflammation. Your first priority is choline. Think of choline as the fat transporter. Its job is to package up fat, triglycerides, in the liver and export it to the rest of your body to be used for energy. A deficiency in choline is a direct cause of fatty liver. And where do you find choline? The #1 source, egg yolks. We were told for decades to fear egg yolks. That advice was catastrophically wrong. The yolks are where the nutrition is. Aim for 2 to 3 whole eggs per day. Your second priority is cruciferous vegetables. This means broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and kale. These vegetables contain a powerful compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane activates your liver's phase 2 detoxification pathways, helping it process and eliminate toxins, reduce inflammation, and heal. Third, coffee and green tea. This is not a drill. Multiple studies have confirmed that habitual coffee consumption is one of the most protective things you can do for your liver.
It is shown to reduce liver inflammation and slow the progression of scarring. Green tea contains a catechin called EGCG, which is proven to decrease liver fat. Fourth, healthy fats. To reverse fatty liver, you must eat healthy fat. This seems counterintuitive, but it's essential. Healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, and nuts do two things. They make you feel full, and more importantly, they help reverse insulin resistance. They slow down the absorption of any carbohydrates you do eat, preventing the sugar spikes that harm your liver. Week 4, strategic movement. You cannot fix a metabolic problem with diet alone. You must send your body a powerful signal that it needs to handle energy differently. But this is not about spending hours on a treadmill. In fact, long, slow cardio can be ineffective for this specific problem. We need to focus on movement that addresses the root cause, insulin resistance. Your new best friend is resistance training. This doesn't mean you need to become a bodybuilder. This can be body weight exercises, light dumbbells, or resistance bands. Why does this work? Muscle is your body's glucose sink. It is the #1 place to dispose of blood sugar. When you build even a small amount of new muscle, you are building a bigger, more efficient sink to soak up the sugar from your meals so it never gets to your liver in the first place. Your second tool is HIIT, or high-intensity interval training. This sounds intense, but it can be as simple as walking for 2 minutes, then walking as fast as you possibly can for 30 seconds, and repeating. This type of movement does something magical. It rapidly depletes the stored sugar, glycogen, in your muscles. This forces your body to find a new source of fuel, and its favorite backup fuel, the fat stored in your liver. You are literally training your body to burn liver fat. Week 4, the metabolic switch, days 22 through 30. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We've stopped the assault, we've added the healing foods, and we've retrained our muscles. Now we give the liver what it desperately needs, a rest. We will use time-restricted eating, TRE. This is simpler and far more powerful than fasting. Your goal for week 4 is to create a 12-hour eating window. That's it. If you have your first bite of food at 8 a.m., you must have your last bite of food by 8 p.m. This creates a 12-hour fasting period overnight. What happens in these 12 hours is life-changing. For the first time, possibly in decades, your insulin levels fall completely. This off switch signals to your body that it's time to repair. Your liver finally gets a break from processing an endless stream of food. But most importantly, this 12-hour fast triggers a process called autophagy. This is your body's cellular cleanup crew. Autophagy is when your body seeks out old, damaged, dysfunctional cells and recycles them. This specifically targets the damaged, fat-filled cells in your liver, breaking them down and clearing them out. By simply closing your kitchen for 12 hours, you are activating your body's deepest-held healing protocol.
Now, I must warn you about one critical mistake. When people get the fatty liver diagnosis, their first instinct is panic. They go on an extreme low-fat diet. This is the worst thing you can do. This advice, born from the failed nutritional science of the 1980s, will accelerate your disease. Here's why. Think of your liver as a clogged kitchen sink. The sink is dangerously backed up with fat. The low-fat diet approach is like trying to fix the clog by just turning down the water pressure. It doesn't address the actual clog. Meanwhile, you're still pouring the real culprit, fructose and sugar, which are like grease and coffee grounds, right down the drain, making the clog worse. When you go on a low-fat diet, you are starving. You are hungry, irritable, and weak. So what do you replace the fat with? Low-fat products. And what are those products? Low-fat yogurt, low-fat salad dressing, low-fat cookies filled with to make them taste good? Sugar, fructose. You have just doubled down on the very ingredient that is creating your fatty liver in the first place. Furthermore, your liver needs healthy fats to function. It needs the healthy fats from avocados and olive oil to fight inflammation. It desperately needs the choline from egg yolks to do its job and export fat. Starving your body of healthy fats while poisoning it with hidden sugars is the reason this epidemic is exploding. You must avoid this trap.
This is the blueprint. It is not complicated, but it requires commitment. Let's recap the 30-day plan. Week 1, eliminate. You stop the assault by cutting out liquid fructose and refined carbs. Week 2, nourish. You add the superfoods, eggs, broccoli, coffee, and olive oil to heal the liver. Week 3, move. You build your glucose sink with resistance training and HIIT to retrain your metabolism. Week 4, rest. You activate cellular cleanup with a simple 12-hour eating window. This plan works. It works because it is not a diet. It is a fundamental metabolic reset. It addresses the root causes of insulin resistance and fructose overload. Your age is not a barrier to healing. Your body wants to heal. Your liver wants to regenerate. We just have to stop the assault and give it the tools to do the job it was designed to do. You have the knowledge. Now you have the plan. The next 30 days can change the entire trajectory of your health.
But now we want to hear from you. Based on what you've learned today, what is the one harmless food or drink you now realize might have been contributing to this problem? Was it the daily glass of healthy orange juice, the breakfast cereal, or the late-night low-fat snack? Share your aha moment in the comments below. Your story could be the inspiration someone else needs to start their own 30-day journey. Thank you for watching.